get to learn English and Ukrainian. One of the teachers teaches me English and one of them teaches me Ukrainian, so that's really fun.
As a child, you can learn a second language so much quicker than you can as an older person.
It's not a Latin-based language, so they learn a Cyrillic alphabet. So their mind gets the opportunity to learn in different ways.
So when you study another language, you will be able to understand some languages relate to that.
We have many families that have Russian, German background, and they like putting their children in the program because they understand the teachers can talk to them a bit in Russian or German, because our teachers can speak so many languages, and then they feel comfortable with it, and they understand it's a bilingual program, so they're still getting the English portion.
Teachers are either from Ukraine or like Ukrainian background, and some of them with Ukrainian teaching experience. I really like it.
The children find that they're not so different because they are embraced by the Ukrainian Canadian children that are here. So they get to learn English, but Ukrainian as their backdrop.
Whatever background they're coming from, they all get the language and the culture, and they seem to embrace that.
Що вони з України, які тільки приїхали до Канади, це дуже добре приїхати прийти сюди, тому що тут українська програма, і ти можеш чувствувати себе як вдома, і ти можеш говорити з такими ж людьми, як ти. Моя звати Христина. Українська програма – це те, що я маю шанс йти на деякі field trips, і деколи ми маємо якісь екскурсії. І так само наша програма є як наша родина. Тому всі ми маємо дуже добрі друзі.
They don't have to worry about a language understanding challenge. They can speak to them in their own language and understand how their child is doing.
So it provides the language, it provides culture, it provides the opportunity for families to celebrate together in their culture.
When you know and understand the language in any capacity, that's what helps you get that better understanding.
Yeah. The roots, the history, the traditions are based in the language, and then everything grows from there.
Get involved. You can take correspondence courses later on in grade 9, 10, 11, and 12. You can take Ukrainian at university and get involved in the community. Have folklorama, where you can make lifelong friends. Get involved in dance groups or choirs in your church community, and having a lot of opportunities that way.
But the benefits are, I think, are obvious. First of all, knowing a language gives you, it's a in combination with another subject is very powerful in the job market.
As president, I get an opportunity to visit the schools during kindergarten information night, and I walk into that room and I see these parents that are trying to decide what is the best choice for my child, and being able to stand up there and talk to the parents and say, I've been where you are, and I can tell you, you would not be disappointed. You would be the opposite. You would be so pleased if you made the choice to put your child in this program.
Kids not only get to be part of field trips and learnings and art and dancing, but they also have the opportunity to meet the other students in the other schools across the province.
Mm-hmm. My favorite part watching them go through it was the connection that they made with other students from other schools because of that core similarity that they had in going through the program. They make connections the first time, and it's like old friends the second time, and like family the third time.
Students think more at a global level instead of just this classroom, just this little town. They're looking outside the classroom, outside the province, outside the country.
We can see many similarities with Aboriginal culture and from cultures all over the world, because we have students from all over the world. Like in my class, I have a student from Trinidad, I have a student from Philippines, I have many Aboriginal kids in my class. So all this has a huge impact on the community, because it's all about learning and growing for kids, and and becoming great citizens and having great life later. The more you know, the easier it is for you to social.
The families come, and they don't have to feel that they have to lose their heritage or culture at all, that it's being embraced.
We came to Winnipeg 3 years ago, in 2015. And to be honest, my parents prepared the ground, like, before we came. They already went to R.F. Morrison School. They talked to principal. They asked if it's possible for us to enroll. So for me, program from the very beginning was very welcoming.
It has been so wonderful teaching in a family type atmosphere, because our community is very family oriented, and the students and the staff and the parents, everybody is so warm that I haven't left for 31 years because it's been so wonderful.
Ukrainian English bilingual program is very soft way to integrate into Canadian society.
Being Ukrainian, Ukrainian culture and the language it's entrenched in our community, our neighborhood, and people recognize this community is a traditional Ukrainian community, and they recognize that Ralph Brown is a big part of that community.
It's a positive thing to be Ukrainian, to be of Ukrainian origin in the prairies. Even if your knowledge of Ukrainian is slight, there is a positive feeling. And I think that should not be minimized.
Teachers, administrators, superintendents, trustees, they all are part and parcel of this program, along with the students and the parents.
Yeah.
It's a community.
The pilot started in 1979, 80. And then the constitutional changes didn't happen until 83?
Right. And they didn't have...
How did we get...
Well, because we kept the legislation was one thing, but
Okay.
changing it to make it into a right.
See, until then, there was no right. But we went into communities where there was a significant Ukrainian population who were interested in having the program. Whether it was East Selkirk, it was Beausejour, it was Dauphin.
Well, I know that on the prairie provinces, there was a huge settlement by the Ukrainian people. So it was important for them to create schools that involved the culture that they brought over to Canada.
They agreed to have the first kindergarten group in 1980, in the fall of 1980, and that's where it started.
The language legislation only permitted education to be taught in English, any classes to be taught in English and French. Alberta changed it, and so then the lobbying started here. There was a small group of key people, and that group then started to negotiate heavily with the Francophones, saying, we, the Ukrainian community, political people, all parties represented, are willing to support your clause, you have to support our clause.
So now the program has been in existence for 40 years, and I think that's quite amazing when you think back that 40 years ago, a group of very dedicated parents came together and petitioned the government saying that this is an important program. We want our children to have the opportunity to learn how to speak Ukrainian, to become immersed in the Ukrainian culture. Not only has the program survived, but it's actually thriving.
In 1980, we were incorporated and became a nonprofit charitable organization. And now we continue to do that, to support the English-Ukrainian bilingual program.
Well, being on the board, you have close relationships with the principals and teachers of the schools. So being a representative of the school that my kids come from, you have opportunities to have conversations with them on multiple levels, whether it be what's happening on MPOE at the time, or even what's going on in the classroom. There's a better chance of extending that conversation further.
Manitoba Parents for Ukrainian Education have done an amazing job getting our kids to go to different places like the legislature or Leo Mole Gardens or Vegreville, and I think that having our schools part of that just gets us out in the world and gets them to know us.
Progressing all the time with new events organized, with all the contributions from parents and all the input we all work together for. So it's, I think, it's constantly growing and progressing.
The education is important, but it, for me, with them was always secondary. I think what they brought in the cultural aspect is what made it extra special and made learning easier.
It's not only about the culture and the Ukrainian benefit, but it's also just building up your little toolkit or people that can help you should the need arise.
It's the genuine effort that each educator puts into their time, their life.
It's sort of like you don't need to have a club for parents, right? It's already here. So it was really good, and it is really good. That's why I really appreciate MPV, and like that program exists for so many years and improves actually.
I think because it's a great combination of learning experience and having fun, and it's an opportunity for kids to get together again. And that's what I've really enjoyed about the program for the last many years, since MPU's really been so organized, and they have events for like grade 6 camp, grade 5 legislature, so these kids get to see each other from the various Ukrainian bilingual programs, and then grade 7s have an activity now, and then they go venture to Vegreville. They just they're bonding together for 4 days, and we get them singing and just having a lot of fun, and at the same time they're learning things that I think really make them appreciate not only being Ukrainian, but being Canadian too.
Favorite field trip is probably Vegreville, the one we did a few weeks ago. We got so many opportunities in Alberta, so we learned so much new information. The heritage village we went to, it was great.
Shortly after MPUE was started, Osvita came about, and the reason for that was there was some funding available in the early days of Manitoba Parents for Ukrainian Education, but the founders at that time were concerned that the funding would not always be there, so they wanted to have a fund which could allow MPUE and the program to be sustained. So shortly in the early 80s, Osvita Foundation was founded. And it continues today and continues to help fund Manitoba Parents for Ukrainian Education, which then funds the program in the schools. With Osvita, what happens is every year we have an annual testimonial dinner, and that's our biggest fundraiser to make sure that we have the funding in place in the foundation to keep it going. We have a different school or schools entertaining at the banquet, so they all get to be showcased, as well as around the room and in the area that we're promoting, actually having the banquet. Their work is being shown, their writing, their reading, their artwork is being shown of what they have accomplished throughout the years.
The partnership that has existed over all this time between Manitoba Parents for Ukrainian Education and the school divisions has been wonderful, and it's because of the advocacy of the Manitoba Parents for Ukrainian Education and the support of the various school divisions that our program continues to thrive and flourish.
We try to organize as much as possible, get them hands-on activities, get them out from the school to see the community. We invite them to the different events in the community, and we are more like building that relationship with community.
Our mission is to enhance, expand, and promote the English-Ukrainian Bilingual program throughout the province. So it's a good mission to have. We work hard to make sure that the students get the best experience.
If you want to become involved in your child's education, this is the opportunity to do so. Like I said before, there's always a chance to walk through the school door and have those conversations. The conversations that are had around this table are more detailed, more strategic, more forward-thinking. If you want to be part of change and growth, then for sure this is the organization to be part of. I mean, the ancillary part for me, the side bonus that just happens naturally, is just being in the know of what your kids are doing in the classroom.
Grade 12, we went to Ukraine, and it was that aha moment where you got to Ukraine and you kind of felt, okay, it all comes together and all makes sense. This is where our ancestors came from. So it was that moment where we went, we had this incredible time, then we came back. The first time when we came back, I went to a Bomber game, and they sang the national anthem, and I had tears running down my face because I thought, I just experienced where my family left generations ago to come to this country, and I am so proud to be Canadian.
I definitely want them to have an appreciation and respect for not only the Ukrainian culture, but of all cultures and of all communities.
I would say my favorite part about the Ukrainian program would mainly be just getting to do like fun activities like pisanka making, learning about sort of Ukrainian traditions.
We live in a diverse culture, and it's very important that we have the opportunity to learn about each other's cultures and to share our cultures with one another, and that makes each of us a better person, and it encourages greater understanding amongst people.
I was a student here, so I knew what the culture was and what to expect, what the kids would get out of it. It's having them go to a small school. It's a family-like school, so everybody knows everybody, and that's important because there's a feeling of security for them, and definitely helped in their growth and development.
You get to know lots of people, and then it helps outside of school, like around different times of the year. Lots of people, it helps you connect with them easier, the older people.
Yeah, especially around Dauphin, there's a lot of Ukrainians, so knowing the language and be able to communicate with them is good.
For myself, I went through this program, then I moved to Saskatoon, and I was able to become really involved with the Ukrainian community in another city because I had that background from my own childhood.
The sense of community that the program develops is second to none. When I used to be at the middle school, I would see this group of students coming up who had been in the English-Ukrainian Bilingual program, and I was always quite impressed with what sense of community they had developed and the strong friendships that they had created, having been in the class together over the first 6 years, then coming over to the middle school.
Two of my kids, friends that they met in kindergarten and grade 1, they still associate with them even after they've graduated. Their offshoots are choir and Ukrainian dance, as you mentioned. One of my sons is in Rusalka, and they're going to Ukraine next summer, which is very impressive. I mean, I've never been out of the tour, but he's very anxious to go and see what it looks like, see what it's all about.
Yeah.
And he's able to do that through dance, which is an offshoot of the culture as a whole, which is what we're promoting here.
Yeah.
My children are in second year university and in grade 11, and they still receive the benefits of the program because of the people that they've met, the understanding that they have of the culture and the heritage, the understanding of the language.
We have a connection with Ukraine. We send students to Ukraine to do courses, sometimes our courses, summer courses, but sometimes just courses that we recommend students for. And that's a terrific emotional plus for the students. They come back completely transformed.
People that I've worked with over the years, and the parents, the students, for the most part, it's just been a wonderful, wonderful experience. So it's been very gratifying.
Grades and do things and not be scared of learning another language. My younger daughter decided she wanted to learn Spanish, so she had no fear. She wanted to learn another language. And then my older daughter went to Ukraine last year and took 3 courses in Kyiv, where she would have probably never done that had she not been in the program. So it's just not the experiences that they get while they're in the program. They continue on as they move forward in their journey. The door is just open up because they've met so many people. They've had the experience is that they don't have to be worried about it. They don't have to be concerned that they don't know anything, because they've learned and at least have a base at what they're doing. So, and they can continue to build upon that. So just the doors that open for them because they've had these opportunities, and take these opportunities to do more with their lives.